Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Taylor Ann, and right now I am here with Riley Corcoran, the Montana Sportscaster of the Year. Congratulations on your accomplishment, sir.
Thank you, Taylor Ann. Appreciate it, and looking forward to chatting with you a little bit.
Awesome. So this is your third NSMA award, which you're definitely racking up some numbers there. And you are currently the play-by-play broadcaster for the Montana Grizzlies and a co-host of ESPN Missoula. So you obviously have quite a resume, so I'm going to jump into some questions for you. So my first one is, how does it feel to be nominated by your peers for this award?
I think it's the ultimate compliment, really, when you get recognized by people that are in the grind with you, so to speak, day by day, and really get to watch how you work. I think in this industry and watching some of these interviews that you've been able to do over the last couple of weeks, I think we all feed a little bit off of our colleagues. And so when I'm recognized, or when all of us are recognized by those people, I think it means a little bit more because they're the ones that are with you every day doing it.
Awesome. Great answer. My next question for you is, how did you enter your sports writing field or sports broadcasting field, just how did you get involved? What did that process look like for you?
You know, Taylor Ann, it was something that started at an early age for me. I was fortunate. I know that as we go through life, some people don't know what their passions might be until maybe they're halfway through college. For me, it started pretty early. I knew that I wanted to work in sports no matter what it was. At an age when I was playing all the sports, 11, 12 years old, and just knew that no matter what, I needed to find a certain medium for myself to get into. And I was a big baseball player, and always during the summers, I would come home at night and always would find myself very fittingly with Dodger baseball on in the background. And that was because of Vin Scully. And Vin Scully, of course, the iconic broadcaster, really was my role model when it came to the industry. And to understand that broadcasting is so much more than just calling the play, the preparation process, and being a storyteller. I learned that really firsthand from watching Dodger baseball and listening to Vin Scully. So my passion from there went straight into sportscasting. I was fortunate to have such a great family support system to push me into that direction, even though it was a very unique one, that every single step that I took, Taylor Ann, whether it was in high school or college decisions, or even in college, was based off putting my best foot forward for a broadcasting career. So I was lucky to get off to an early start, but it started back to, yes, I would say when I was about 11, 12 years old, wanting to get into it.
That's awesome. Not everybody's as fortunate enough to know their path right off from the bat. But you alluded to it a little bit, but would you go into a little bit more of the details of your college background and your work experience that led to your current position?
I went to Washington State University, go Cougs, just a great place to really get my feet wet and get a lot of experience. It was something I researched when going through the college process, that there are so many prestigious schools around the country, Syracuse, Northwestern, Arizona State. I could list them all off, but as far as myself getting experience right away, Washington State was a great fit for me. And I jumped in. Shout out to my advisor, Glenn Johnson, who's also the voice of the Cougs. He's been doing the PA announcing there forever. He's also the mayor and an advisor. So he really wears a lot of hats. And my first meeting was with him even before I took a college class, and just saying, what can I do to get experience? I jumped in with KUGR, the student radio station, had a weekly show from my first semester on, even though I'm sure it was terrible. I didn't keep any tapes from then, but certainly a good starting point. And then being able to call games from there, getting involved with the student video department. And it really was a sweet spot in time that before the Pac-12 network came in, that student video departments were putting out their own broadcasts, and they were looking for student broadcasters. So, Washington State was such a great fit for me because I was able to get a ton of experience throughout my 4 years there, which helped me put a good foot forward to jump into the career afterwards.
Awesome. That's so important, getting experience right off the bat. I found in just my few short years. So I can definitely see how that would have been helpful for you. So obviously you're very passionate about your position, but I was wondering if you had a favorite part of it.
Oh, I would say the preparation part of it, Taylor Ann. I mean, I truly enjoy what I do, and I think a lot of my colleagues that are fortunate enough to be the voice of a school would say the same thing, because we're in a job and a profession that's so rewarding, right? I mean, when I go out in Missoula or around this great state, we don't have a professional sports team here in Montana. So Grizzly athletics feels like that from a football perspective, from a basketball perspective, and even all the other Olympic sports. And I love being a representative for the university. We go around on a tour, a fundraising tour throughout the year every May. And it's just a rewarding profession, just because you get to see the impact that you have. Oh, I was listening to that game that you called, and wow, what about that touchdown? Or just everyone's in a great mood every time they're talking about Grizzly athletics. And I feel that's a really rewarding part. But I would say the preparation aspect of it would be my favorite by a little bit, because those late night grinds from 10 o'clock to 2 a.m. and looking up stats or something that might be a storyline that you might find that one nugget. I feel that that's also really rewarding. So that's a tough question because there's so many answers, but I'd say the preparation process by a little bit.
Definitely. Well, I don't think I've had anybody else say that. So it was a really insightful piece of information. Thank you. I was also wondering if you had any cool stories. You were just kind of referencing them a little bit, maybe just a favorite quick story from your career so far.
I would have to say it's one of my other broadcasting passions and idols in Chris Berman. Our families were vacationing in the same spot in Maui back when I was wanting to get into this field, and I ran into Chris Berman and told him that I wanted his job someday. I don't know why I had the confidence back then. He said, "You can have it," and we stayed in touch through letters and phone calls and exchanges back and forth. And to be able to have someone like Chris Berman to call on when you maybe have a question or you need some quick advice, which I had to do when I got offered this job. I had another job opportunity that was waiting out there, and I had to kind of weigh the options, and I needed 24 hours, and I needed someone that I could call, and it was Chris Berman. So I would say that if I had to go into specific games, it would be 15 minutes long, because there's so many certain moments that are great stories. But I would say one that obviously resonates with me is being able to have Chris Berman as someone that I can call whenever I need to.
That's awesome. So in all of that, you are obviously a very accomplished broadcaster. So I was wondering if you had maybe some tips or tricks to improve a public speaking ability.
I would say number one is to have confidence. And I know that sounds like something that's very daunting at first, but you have to remember that there's so many people that are in your same boat, whether if it's in a public speaking class or not, where maybe there's going to be some nerves, but if you just be yourself and be able to have some bullet points throughout the course of it to kind of keep you on track, I think that is so beneficial moving forward. I would encourage everyone out there that is maybe in the middle of their grind in their career right now, wondering if they're going to get the break. I would say the 2 P's to always look back on are patience and persistency. Don't stop reaching out to those future opportunities that might be there. You never know when the timing is going to work out for you. I've seen it so many times, even in my younger part of my career, just seeing where timing is everything. And I know at times being patient is tough in this industry because it's not the most glamorous at times, but my goodness, the payoff is so worth it. And again, we talked about it just a little bit ago about this job being so rewarding. I would echo those sentiments there as well.
Awesome. So it seems like you were kind of alluding to a little bit of luck being at play with your particular story, especially with meeting your mentor in Maui. That wasn't exactly a planned vacation, I assume. So in a lot of my other interviews, I've also spoken to some of the award winners about the aspect of luck and them making it big in the broadcast field. So I was wondering, how important do you think luck is to your personal success?
I think luck is a little bit of timing and taking advantage of your opportunity. So absolutely. I think anyone, you can just count them, right? How many roles are there to be a voice of a school? There's not that many at the Division I levels, and there's prospective broadcasters all over the place, thousands. So just the fact that the jobs aren't out there, I think it does take a little bit of luck to make it to this point. But also, I think taking advantage of your opportunity would be a good way of putting it. I think throughout everyone's career, you're going to have a moment or a couple of moments where you get to decide and you get to take the most of it and take it to the next level. And I feel that I have been able to do that, fortunately, that when you take over for someone that's been doing this for 31 years. That was my predecessor, Mick Holeen, who we lost this last year. But he did it a certain way, and to kind of go in there and take advantage of an opportunity, maybe do something different and put your twist on it as well. I think that you can build off of that luck, Taylor Ann, a little bit more.
That's another interesting spin on things. So you've been dropping lots of pearls and of wisdom during this interview, but I was wondering if you maybe had one final piece of advice for any college graduate looking to strike it big in the broadcast field or get into your particular line of work.
I think that number one, on-air opportunities are everything. Or if you're weighing something that maybe it will be a lot behind the scenes, yes, the appreciation will be there, that you need to know that side of it. But also, if there is any aspect where you can take advantage of on-air opportunities, that's what's going to put you best in line for a job down the road. I mean, even if you have just a couple of games of tape, so you can just send it to a future employer, even one time, all it takes is one person to like that 5-minute sample that you might put together. So taking advantage of those on-air opportunities for those that are maybe a little bit more in depth in their play-by-play career, I always follow the model of the 3 S's and took this from Brian Anderson, a phenomenal broadcast that we see on Turner and with the Brewers as well. But silence, stats, and stories, and being able to weave all 3 of those things while you're calling a game, I feel is so vital for a play-by-play broadcaster. A lot of us think that we just need to talk the entire time. That's not the case. And also, it's not just repeating numbers. So again, stats, stories, and silence to kind of weave the 3 together really makes, I feel, the perfect mix for a play-by-play broadcaster.
Definitely. Well, that's awesome advice. I'm sure a lot of future broadcasters are out there taking notes, getting all of that down. But that is all the questions I have for you today. But thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak to us today. I know I learned a lot. I'm sure our viewers at home did as well. Got any final words for us?
I appreciate you reaching out, Taylor Ann. I've had a blast watching these and catching up with my fellow winners throughout it. And now that there's a date set to hopefully see everyone again in December. So all on board for that. Appreciate all the NSMA does and for your work as well. So thanks for having me today.
Awesome. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching.